think he is probably one of the most famous lead ponies in New Zealand, Gingernuts. He lives now here at Te Akau Stud, and his life after racing has been just something special. We're very lucky to have him. We're very lucky that he's still alive. The work he's doing is invaluable because it's all about educating and helping the young horses and hopefully finding the next Gingernuts, the next Jerry.
We paid $42,500 for him, and yeah, he probably did exceed our expectations.
Shut the gate in the Derby! Gingernuts has dunked them in the Derby!
He won 3 Group 1 races, over $1.3 million in his career.
Gingernuts is getting tired, but he's got the Rosehill Guineas won. It's Gingernuts by 2 lengths.
But what he did do was give everybody involved the absolute thrill of a lifetime.
He was favourite for the Group 1 Emirates at Flemington, and you know, we watched him do his prelim and he had never looked more magnificent. They went around up to the start and we were watching on the big screen, and one of his owners said to me, "Oh, what's wrong? The jockey's got off." And as it unfolded, you just could have heard a pin drop.
Limping noticeably there, and obviously not ideal scenes for all involved.
I thought initially that the saddle might have slipped, but I soon realised that there was a serious situation.
The horse ambulance arrived and we didn't know whether we had a horse anymore. One of our owners actually collapsed. It still makes me quite emotional talking about that day because he's a very, very special horse, as all of our thoroughbreds are, and we thought we'd lost him.
We gave them about a 50% chance that they would have a sound horse at the end of it. He had a spiral fracture that went from his fetlock joint all the way to his pastern joint. So here where they zoom in, you can see he's thickened. That's the pastern he broke. It's not common for horses to fracture in the warm-up prior to a race, but in this instance, they're lucky that it happened when it did, when the horse wasn't galloping that fast, because if it happened a little bit later during the race, then it could have been catastrophic. The
team at Flemington and the professionals at Werribee are just world class. Their compassion, not just for us as owners, but also for the horse, was just second to none.
Fortunately, it hadn't got to the point where it was irreparable, but that was quite possible given the seriousness of the injury. But when you get a success like this, it's very satisfying. It
was incredible. We got children sending drawings to us. We had get well cards literally from all over the world. Television New Zealand, TV1, came to the farm to welcome him home. Newspaper coverage. Yeah, he's got a massive fan club. I think when a horse just brims with personality and character, and then bravery and courage, both on the track and obviously with his injury, he just captured people's hearts and imaginations.
Awesome little fleecy. It's one of his many accomplishments. I think he just knows he's a superstar.
Do you think he's aware of the effect he has on people?
Oh, he knows he's pretty loved, I can promise you that.
He's great, and he just runs the place. He rules the roost. He wouldn't like to hear me call him a bit of a nana, but he can be a wee bit of, and I mean that in a loving way, with the young horses. The chaperone, I suppose, is a good word. Just being a comforting and reassuring presence with them as they're learning their craft. Jerry's quirky. Jerry is kind. He's a kind horse. He's got a kind eye and a good soul. And I think there's a big role that Jerry can play in future, and I've been talking to New Zealand Thoroughbred Racing informally. He could never be a subbie. I mean, Sub-Zero was... Sub-Zero's unequalled, unique. But I think there is a role that Jerry can play in New Zealand, in our community, to help understand our industry better in the wider mainstream.